Hi, this is Michael again. I'll be doing a Tri-Brigade deck profile. I took this deck to the Los Angeles Regional, but yeah, let's just get started. So in the main deck, we're playing the super heavy package. So 3 Bike, 1 Wakaushi, 1 Benki, and 1 Booster. Super heavy engine is quite good. I can explain more later, but 1 Wakaushi, because just Wakaushi by itself won't be able to get to Baron because you need the level 2 synchro, so Bike is what you want to open. But if you do open the Wakaushi, it's fine, as it still gives you extenders and options. For the Tri-Brigade stuff, 3 Rescue Cat. This card is quite insane. Then the standard stuff, 3 Fractal, 6 Fractals, Kit, 2 Nerval, you don't want to open this card, 1 Keras, you don't want to open this card, the card you search in the Rescue Cat combo, and the 1 Revolt, which you also don't want to open. 2 Desires, 2 Prosperities. If you had to play 1 pot, Desires is better, but this card is also very good. Pots in general is just very good. I could throw in the 5th Prosperities and it's fine. And then for staples, 3 Ash, 3 Imperm. Probably the best staple card in my deck, aside from obviously some of the best cards in the game. Delta and Gamma, with how diverse this format is, it's really good to have a card that covers everything. And 2 Nibiru, which is actually kind of bad in the main deck because of how diverse this meta is. But yeah, that's the main deck, 40 cards. Moving on to the extra, we've got the Synchro package. This is for the super heavy engine, so you get Baron and Scales set up. The Arclight is for the Rescue Cat combo. You just want to maximize your end board. By having these 2 cards, you have spell and trap negates, so whereas in the past people would think Tri-Brigade loses too evenly, or like Lightning Storm, these cards make it so that that's no longer the case. The XYZ package, it's very important to have the XYZ package. Against D-Shifter, you can go super heavy engine into Baguska, set in defense. It's not the best, but you just want to stall through the shifter. And having these 2 is really good, just as an option. With Tri-Brigade, your win condition changes depending on the game and depending on what your opponent opens. And one of the win conditions is just overlaying to Gigantic and make a Zeus. Gigantic is 3100, which is really good for clearing 3200, which is really good for clearing boards and just winning in situations where you might not have. So for the Link lineup, the Axis Code, Double Dragon Lords, Appaloosa, Amaraj, pretty standard. You can't cut this card, just comes up sometimes. And for Tri-Brigade links, Bearblum, Farigate, Rugal, and 2 Shurig. Hello. In the extra deck, so that's the extra deck, 15 cards. For the side deck, 2 Druisworm, 3 Effect Veiler, 3 Ghost Ogre, the 3rd Nibiru, 3 Skullmeisters, and 3 There Can Only Be Ones. So yeah, that's the deck. What else to talk about? Okay, so the event. I went 6-0 in the beginning, but then lost 4 straight, so I ended with a 6-4 record. I got 109th out of like 800 or so people. I didn't do as well as I liked, but there were some misplays that I did in the event, which wasn't good. As far as to what I would change in this deck, want to look at the deck again? Sorry about that, Josh.
No problem.
Okay, so changes to the deck. Right now, this format is very diverse. So this card was the worst card in the main deck. One thing about my main deck is that it's good. It's good in all matchups, right? That's what makes the Cypher package really good. If you go up against like Pearly, Unchained, Floowandereeze, or like just any deck you can think of, these cards are good. Nibiru, however, is not the same, right? I open this card against Pearly game 1 and I lose. You can open this card against Flu and you lose, right? There are matchups where like this card is just not good. The super heavy package and everything else remains unchanged. I might think if there's any way to add the third prosperities in. When I was doing testing for this deck, I was unsure about the main deck ratios, and just putting the prosperities, having more cards that are just generic and good in all matchups is like really good. So like the 2 pros actually fix the deck in a lot of ways. For the people wondering if these will conflict, it wouldn't, because of normal distribution. To open 1 is already 8, so you're in playing 4. If you play the 5th, it's still not even close to 16, which is the normal distribution to open 2. And it's also like a balancing act. One of the main advantages for Tri-Brigade and the reason to play the deck is because you can shuffle cards back. So even if you do open additional pots, you can shuffle them back. That was also the reason to play the super heavy engine, because if you open like the bricks or whatsoever, you can always just shuffle them back, and it's always good. But the 2 Nibiru in the main deck is probably like, it will probably get changed. I think moving forward, I'll play Fenrir in the main deck. One thing that I did miss, I don't like Fenrir in general, simply because when going second, in some matchups, it's not enough. But because of how diverse the format is, you just need like a generic card. But one thing I did miss about Tri-Brigade is you can summon Fenrir, search the other Fenrir, and then shuffle the Fenrir back for revolt. So the fact that it just gives you a +1 means Tri-Brigade's additional value with it. So I should just add those in. I don't know exactly what to cut, right? Because it's the 3rd prosp and like the 3 Fenrirs, and I only have like 2 Nibiru to cut, but I'll have to think about it. As far as the side deck is concerned, I don't think I'll ever cut There Can Be, because like it is really strong against Unchained. The format is very diverse, but Floodgates also have very diverse coverage. It's also good against Flu. When going first, it's there are some other decks that it can go into.
So why did you like hand traps more than other Floodgates, despite Floodgates having more spread in a diverse format?
I think you meant board breakers, right?
Yeah.
So I don't play board breakers because like some of the board breakers I just can't play, like Armament Slay, because the extra deck is too tight. For the other board breakers, like Droplets is probably still not great. Just the discard is not good, and I'm not playing Tactics or Thrusts either. That's due to the way the playstyle with the deck. When you're playing Tactics, you want to force your plays through, but for my deck, I'm playing reactionary to what the opponent is doing, to try to counter and stop what they're doing, which Tactics doesn't really do. As for what I would cut in the side, I would probably cut the 2 Druid Swarm. I was doing a lot of testing against Unchained, and Druid Swarm is a good card when it comes up, but when I redid a lot of the testing, I was like winning matches without this card coming up either. It is a little bit of RNG, but like because of how diverse the format is, you just kind of have to accept the RNG, especially since I'm testing like losing the die roll and going second. So this card is probably going to be cut. I'm not sure exactly for what. Maybe the Fenrirs do go into the side, but that is pending. As far as my losses today, the 4 losses, the first one is to Pearly, which I misplayed. The second one is to Flunderies, which I just got unlucky. The third one was also to Flunderies, which I also misplayed. And the last loss was to Kashtira. People are still playing that deck. They're doing a weird like blind going second, going first, and you don't know what their side deck is, so it's really hard to call to go first or second, especially because I'm trying to play reactionary to what they're doing. It's kind of hard to react to just summon Fenrir and like not care about what they're doing. I'm gonna go over some of my losses because there were very key misplays that were technical plays. So first was my loss to Pearly. So this was my inboard. I guess I can go over the combo as well. So what's really good about Rescue Cat is it punishes people who don't play hand traps. First the super heavy. For those who don't know the combo, right? You have Bike, discard Bike to get Wakaushi effect to summon, get Benki effect to add this effect will then summon. Now that you have this, you could overlay into Baguska, which is like under Shifter, since this will be banished. But without Shifter, you would go Stardust Excel. So Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2, Wakaushi to go into scale. Stardust Excel will summon this back, and you go for Baron. This way, You have pendulum scales, which is really funny with Tri-Brigade, because you can just pendulum summon your Tri-Brigade monsters. You can also pendulum summon Rescue Cat, and you have a Baron to protect against Board Breakers or Nibiru and the Swords. If they have Imperm or hand traps, they're also forced to use the hand trap on the Excel Synchro, which means they have one less hand trap to hit your Tri-Brigade cards. And even if they do have Imperm, you still get the scales for free. That is just like so many resources off just one card. And again, if you open the bricks, they're not complete garnets, and you can shuffle them back if you just play Tri-Brigade normally. So that's this combo. And now for the Rescue Cat combo. You normal summon the cat. You go effect of cat to summon 2 kits. Link these off into Fairy Jeep. So Kit will then mill for Nerval. Nerval will add the Fractal. Use Fairy Jeep effect to summon the Fractal. You go Fractal effect to banish 4, because you have 4 beasts from the cat. That would summon Charade. Going second, this will banish and the game's over. Charade effect Engrave will trigger to search for a Tri-Beast monster that was level less than or equal to the amount banish. So you get Cerebel. If you have Keras, you can Keras discard the Cerebel, so you get them too. But just the 1 card combo, you can also go Bearbulm effect. Like let's say you discard a random card and the Cerebel to summon a card from banish. So you can summon the Kit. And then the Cerebel, when discarded, either off Keras or off Bearbulm, will summon itself back. And then Kit will be able to banish 2, which you have engraved perfectly. For the double Dragon Lords, using those 2 to get the Arclight. And then finally, Appaloosa, use the Graveyard effects to get the Revolt. As you can see, you can go Bike, get Baron, and then resolve full cat combo. So like in the opening hand, if you just open, if you open both Bike and Cat, it is so disgusting. You just have like so much power in your hands to like play through a lot of stuff.
They're forced to hand trap on the Bike, right?
Yeah, pretty much. This forces out the hand trap, and this punishes them even harder afterwards. As far as my losses, so I didn't have the super heavy stuff set up, but this was my end board. Here's what happened. Against Pearly, they summoned the Fenrir. And the correct response to summoning the Fenrir is to actually just do nothing. They'll go Fenrir effect, search the Fenrir hand, just let them do it. They go to battle phase, attempt to attack with Fenrir, you go double Dragon Lords, bounce the Fenrir, main phase 2, summon Fenrir, and that's fine. Because this way, if they activate like their Pearly effects, you can just use Appaloosa to negate, and then on resolution, if Fenrir activates effect, Appaloosa will negate the Fenrir, and you still keep this up, and it's fine. What happened instead was they summoned the Fenrir, and I didn't want them to search, so on summon a Fenrir activated Revolt, Chainlink 2. Not Chainlink 2, Chainlink 1, Revolt. But then he went Chainlink 2, Pearly Quick Play spell. I also had Ash in hand, so I should include that. I had Ash in hand, so Chainlink 1, Revolt, Chainlink 2, Pearly Quick Play spell to summon from deck. And I'm an idiot, and I went Chainlink 3, Ash Blossom. So what happened was, if you resolve in reverse order, Revolt will summon the Charade, Ash will negate the Quick Play, Revolt will summon the Charade, but then on a new chain, turn player will go Chainlink 1, Fenrir. And if I go Chainlink 2, Charade, then I cannot respond and negate the Fenrir, and Fenrir will just target Arclight. If I go Appaloosa to negate the Fenrir, then I cannot use Charade effect. I cannot even use the Graveyard effects to search, and he can just go battle phase to out more things. So I just lost the game because I activated Ash in response to the Quick Play. If I just let the Fenrir resolve, and just use my cards to hit the pearly things, I win that game. So that's my first loss. My second loss is also using the same end board against Flunderies. Against Flunderies, I use double Dragon Lords to hit the field spell, Arclight to hit the thrust, and I'm left with Revolt, Appaloosa. They go Unexplored Winds, banish Eglin to add Robina, normal summon Robina. The correct thing to do in response to Chainlink 1 Robina, Chainlink 2 Eglin, is to go Chainlink 3 Appaloosa, negate the Eglin, Chainlink 4 activate Revolt. Because this way, you stop the Eglin from coming back, so Robina has to add Eglin, and then Revolt will then summon the Shuraig. The issue with Shuraig and Revolt is that they're trigger effects, and they're slow on the trigger. So if I wait for them to normal summon Eglin and activate Revolt, Empin will already be on field before I can use the effective banish. So if I go, Chainlink 1 Robina, Chainlink 2 Eglin, Chainlink 3 Appaloosa, Chainlink 4 Revolt, Revolt will summon, Appaloosa negate Eglin, Robina add Eglin, summon Eglin, and then on the new chain, Chainlink 1 Eglin, and I could Appaloosa negate, but then like I'll lose all my resources, so I'll just go Shuraig to banish, and like the rest of the graveyard. And Shuraig will banish one of the birds on field, and you won't be able to tribute summon. If you don't do that, you lose the game, because here's what happens instead. Okay, they go normal summon Robina, Chainlink 2 Eglin. I was like, you know what? I think I'm comfortable, so I let it resolve. They add the Samor card with Robina, and Eglin comes back to hand. And then they go normal summon Eglin, effective Eglin, and then Chainlink 2 to Samor, and I cannot Appaloosa. And then they get Empin on field, and the game is just immediately over. So I made that misplay, and the game's just over. Like it's kind of fucked up if I'm being honest. But like that's my bad for, I don't know, like being bad. This deck is very hard to play, like, and I suck at this game. Like we get it. That was my misplay. Yeah, moving forward, I now know the lines. Add Fenrir to the main deck. That way, like even against Kashtira, which is my last round, they like you want to make them go first because like they don't have a Rice Heart, but like just having Fenrir and like set cards is also good. So you just want to like summon Fenrir and out there Fenrir, right? Fenrir is good. Like Kashtira is good against Kashtira. So like playing Kashtira instead of all hand traps is something that I'll look at. But yeah, this is Tri-Brigade. I think playing the super heavy package is the future for the deck. Like I said before, the best part about Tri-Brigade is that they can shuffle cards back. And because of this, they can be very greedy with playing cards that are very powerful. That includes bricks, because you can always shuffle the bricks back, but you want that power. Because without having more power in your deck, Tri-Brigade is flimsy. That is the weakness of the deck. Right now the metagame is very diverse. So the deck, for deck building, you have to just cover everything. Unchained turns out is not the best deck of the format. We will not probably have a best deck for this format. So planning the side deck is just going to be like a very wide range of things. Honestly, it's quite exciting, even though I didn't do so well. The LA Regional is pretty cool. There's a lot of flights to LAX, so I just day tripped it from Texas. Flew there at like 5 a.m. and I left at like 11 p.m. It was like a 10-round tournament, and we got out at like 10:30, so I wasn't able to like eat anything. But other than that, it was a fun event. And
You starved for the game of Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah, I don't want to eat because like metabolism reasons. I don't want to be like digesting while like playing a game, which is honestly like a lose-lose, because like I was like kind of hungry. Maybe I should just like get more protein bars or something later, like for future events.
Right.
But yeah, Tri-Brigade is pretty good. You just have to like be creative with your deck building. Super Heavy Engine is also very, very good. I guess one thing I can talk about as well is Super Heavy ratios. It might sound kind of weird, but even though you do play the Super Heavy Engine, you're most likely not going to open them.
Do you side out the Super Heavy Engine in between matches?
Nope. I don't side out Super Heavy Engine. I don't side out any Rescue Cats. Even going second, Rescue Cat just does too much. mileage. Am I missing a bike? I am missing a bike.
I think you put a bike somewhere.
Yeah, right here. Okay, so with this ratio, you have 2 bricks with 4 starters. This is obviously the lesser good starter. This is the starter you want, but it's a 4-2 ratio. 4-2 is good. If it was like 3-2, that's not good. Just like, math kind of stuff. But because you only play 4 starters, normal distribution is 8. So most of your games, you're not opening this. You're just playing regular Tri-Brigade. The reason why this comes up is because Tri-Brigade has some really powerful cards, right? Such as the Rescue Cat, such as the Fractal. But sometimes like you won't always open these, right? Like everyone knows the normal summon kit make Mirage play, but that play is just not strong enough. So if you don't open these and you only have like kit and like you have to go into Mirage, it's better to have the super heavy package, so you get pen scales. This way you can normal summon the kit, make Mirage, and then whatever you search, you can just pendulum summon it, which is like a lot better. So having the engine does help, even if you're not going to see it. For decks that like rank 4s, such as Rescue Ace, because they have Dempsey, they can search the Airlifter. They can play more copies of Wakaushi if they want to. So that'll be 6-3. They'll probably play the second Benki if you are playing the 3 Wakaushi. So 6-3 is also not bad of a brick to starter ratio, which is the same ratio actually as 4-2, right? It's like 2-1. It's a 2-1 ratio. But yeah, there's so much potential for this kind of engine. You can play this in Trap Tricks, you can play this in Teller Knights, but yeah, it is very powerful, and that is why I'm playing this in this deck. Like an example of like how strong it is. This is like a hypothetical like best opening hand you can get, which would be like an absolute abomination.
Oh my god.
I don't know what the last card will be. Like, screw it. Best hand in the room. Like, opening these 2 is so disgusting. You get so much, and like you can open like these 2, and your other cards could like quite literally be,
right? Because if
like your other cards can quite literally be unplayable, and it doesn't matter because they're shuffling back.
they're forced to like hand trap this, because if they have to do this and they stop it, regardless of the imperm going into like the Excel Synchro, they wasted the imperm on it.
I guess another thing to go over real quick, if you want to like point the camera down real fast,
yeah,
is if you open Wakaushi and not this and Benki, you can't use Wakaushi effect because we only play 1 Benki. So what you have to do is normal summon the Wakaushi, activate Benki, add this, summon, and then go for the Synchro, and you get Wakaushi in scale. The only difference is that you waste your normal summon, but if you get pen scales, you don't need your normal summon because you can just pendulum summon your cards instead. This is also okay if you have let's say you have bike and Wakaushi, right? Because you can't bike for Wakaushi because you already have Wakaushi. So what you do is you bike for booster, activate Wakaushi, put the Benki, summon the Wakaushi, and you just don't use Benki effect and just summon this. Like you go -1 by doing this, but like the engine is still usable. I guess another question people might have is why I'm playing the super heavies with imperm. I am main decking 3 imperm, and that's because again, it's a balancing act. 3 bikes, 1 Wakaushi, and 3 imperms. That's 7 cards, which on average you're still only going to open 1 of these. It's more unlikely to open 2 of these kind of cards than it is to just open 1. And imperm is just too good of a card because of how diverse the format is. There was one scenario where I opened both of these cards against Pearly, and like it was kind of bad. But you can't think of it this way because you have to think these cards are good on their own, and they're only bad if you open 2. So the chances of them being bad is not enough to cut these cards because of how good they are on their own. And if you have like if you do open these two, like going second, you could hold on to the Imperm and not use it in the combo. It's very specific against Pearly that you have to use it in the combo because like Imperm doesn't do anything to their board. But like, if you're against like a combo deck or a D-Link or something, you can hold this in hand, start with the bike, see if they negate anything, and then just Imperm afterwards. So you could try to like structure your plays differently. Or like if you're going worst case scenario, like you have other hand traps, and then you can just shuffle like either this back or shuffle the Imperm back with your Tri-Brigade engine.
So have you like had any conflicts where like you felt like if you opened these two going, have you opened these two going second?
I have, and it did lose me in the game. But again, the thing is that if I wasn't playing these cards, my hand probably would have still been bad. Because like I am playing 3 Veilers, 3 Ogres. It was against Pearly, so like if I don't play the Imperm, there's literally no other hand trap playing against Pearly. And so like if your hand's bad, your hand's bad. Like this is only bad if like your hand's just not good enough, which is just kind of like the name of the game right now. Like whoever's hands are better, or how diverse the meta is. But yeah, I think that's everything. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
Yeah. So a lot of the
real fast, for prosperities, you just banish 3. It's pretty easy to know what to banish because the fact that you're activating prosperities means you're not resolving the super heavy engine. So you banish this because you make that with super heavy. You banish and the 2 synchros, right? So like
Baron and XL. Oh no.
Yeah, Baron and XL.
Because you can still make the Herald.
Yeah, you can still make Herald because of Rescue Cap. This is if you didn't resolve the super heavy engine. You just banish this 3. Like let's say you use the super heavy engine. You're in a grind game and then like you're trying to dig for cards. Like these cards are. You can still banish the Baguska because chances are you use these cards instead. You banish the Arclight. Going second, you can always banish Arclight because you side out the Cerebral. And you banish the Almirage because if you did resolve the super heavy engine, you probably have Pendulum Scales and you probably don't need this. So like there's a lot of like 3s that you can banish. But yeah, Prosperity, you just banish 3. You're not getting the full value of banish 6, but like Pot of Duality is also a really good card. So I don't understand that logic. And yeah, well, what was it you want to talk about?
So basically, I have some of the commenters were asking, what would there be any like current changes due to the post ban list? Would there be any current changes to your Marinsis list, your Sorcerer list, or any of the other lists that you had before the Exo Sister?
Honestly, the game is kind of crazy right now. Probably the least amount of changes will be to the Marinsis list. The Marinsis are waterlocked, so there's not a lot of like additional potential.
So you wouldn't put in the super heavy engine in there?
Yeah, no. And for Marinsis, it's just like different staples. You can't even play Fenrir and Marinsis because like they're really waterlocked.
I know Sword Soul has played. There are some Sword Soul builds that do main deck the super heavy engine for additional extenders.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was thinking about playing super heavy in Sword Soul. Sword Soul is still like in the works. I don't know if it's super heavy or the Yangzing cards, but the standard tiny Sword Soul maybe it can work because of how, like there are decks topping right now that that weren't topping in Sword Soul format. So like you could just play Sword Soul and like beat those decks. Like if you want to push Sword Soul even further, it's probably something with I'm leaning more towards the Yingxing cards than the super heavy. Also because Sword Soul doesn't have really good generic discard outlets for the super heavy stuff. For Marinsis, honestly, it doesn't need that many changes. The deck actually felt really good. I did get second place with it. It felt the most good out of all the decks I've played so far. For Exo Sister, I considered playing super heavy in Exo Sister. Like just like screw the Martha. Bike is new Martha. Like I was playing Small World for Martha. So like instead of playing Small World, you just play Bike. Like if someone's 2 level 4s, it does what Martha does. But that might be too heretical, especially if you get like stopped in the middle of it. You're never summoning Baron, because like that's actually you could, because in standby phase you just like shuffle it back and like your field has no synchros anymore. No, that can't be the case. But yeah, maybe I play super heavies in Exo Sister. It would be really weird, but maybe.
All right. Any closing notes? Any shout outs?
Shout outs, same as usual, friends, family. Shout outs to Josh for making this video.
Hi.
But yeah, anything else?
That's it. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, I hope you enjoyed my losers interview.
Losers interview. Thank you. Bye bye.